Prophet Muhammad. My name is Brother Minister YaSin Allah, and I'm here today to deliver the preachings and teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, that the black man is God, the white man is the devil, and that we living in the judgment or the change of worlds, that the old wicked world of the white man is going out, the world of murder, lies, and robbery, and the new world of the black man is coming in, freedom, justice, and equality, and all the prophets of the Bible and the Quran talked about this day and time that we are living in. And we can find this day and time recorded under names such as the judgment, the resurrection, the day of requital, the day of decision, and many other names and descriptions that tell us, define the time that we are living in. Imagine that all the prophets, all the messengers for the last 4,000 years taught about this day and time that we are living in, which is the end of one world and the beginning of a new world. Before we get into our subject matter, I just want to open up in the name of Allah, the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who was and come and has come to restore us who are lost from our own, the kingdom of Islam. Praise be to Allah. Again, my name is Brother Minister YaSin Allah, and today we're here to talk about the black woman and to talk about Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day, and I know that Mother's Day is a very important holiday, if you will, or a celebration among our people, black people, and rightly so. But in the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, every day is really Mother's Day, because a central part or a very important part of the teachings of the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad concerns the black woman. And that's aside from all the different high science that the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad taught us. The black woman is perhaps the most important part of the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. And sometimes, again, with all the high science and different things that Mr. Muhammad taught, we kind of forget that, the importance and the role of the black woman in the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. And in researching and preparing for this talk, I could find no other teaching, no other religion, if you will, that has such a great emphasis on the woman as the black woman in the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. And of course, most of that or much of that stems from the fact of the black man and black woman slave history here in the wilderness of North America, and essentially being conquered by white people. That a special teaching is needed for the black woman. And first and foremost, I would just want to say again that the black woman is the queen mother of the universe. This is part of the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, the queen of queens. As there are many descriptions of the greatness and the divinity of the black woman, the hand that rocked the cradle of civilization. The white man himself even acknowledges that, you know, the black woman is the first woman. With his different science, anthropological studies of the white man trace that a fossil that they found, bones, is of a black woman whom they named Lucy. And they're saying, I think Time Magazine and different news organizations have written articles about that Eve was a black woman. So, you know, if you are truthful and if you study a little bit, you will, come to the conclusion that, yes, the black woman is the first woman, as the black man is the first man. But more specifically, in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have to understand that, and we have to give credit where credit is due. And this is not being subjective because I'm a follower of the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, but from an objective point of view, just based on the facts, you can find no other teaching that emphasizes the greatness and the significance of the black woman other than the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. If you are into any kind of black nationalism or black consciousness, the origin of the greatness of the black woman being the queen mother of the universe comes from the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. Because if we review, some recent history, if you just go back to when Mr. Muhammad and when he was being taught in the 1930s by Allah and the person of Master Farah Muhammad, there was no teaching that you can find that was teaching that the black woman is the queen of the universe, the queen of queens, and that she's the best woman, the first woman. You really can't find, anything, with that's comprehensive and in depth on that subject matter. So, we want to look to the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad for our understanding and our knowledge about who and what the black woman is and how she should be respected and protected, which is a great part of the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. From the man's point of view, Mr. Muhammad always emphasized that it was a black man's job to elevate, protect the black woman. And this is because, of course, the black man and woman was kidnapped here to the wilderness of North America by the white slave traders. And the white man basically had his way with the black woman. Of course, we were property. We were not deemed or looked at as human beings. We were just looked at as they say, chattel property. Chattel is just something that one possesses and does what he wills with. So the black woman was the property of the slaveholder, and whatever he wished to do with the black woman, this is what he did. If he wanted to have sex with her, rape her, if he wanted to work her, if he wanted to degrade her, abuse her, this is what he did. And of course, aside from the physical abuse, this also destroyed the black woman psychologically. And even though the chains of slavery were taken off with the abolishment of slavery in 1865 in the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution, nonetheless, the black woman was conditioned to want to be and look like white women, someone who had privilege, someone who she looked up to. And there's a name for this psychological condition. They call that now the Stockholm syndrome, where a prisoner starts to identify not with his plight, but with his captor, that he wants to be like the captor. So this is in part what happened to black people, and the black woman in particular, is that she started to had the desire to want to look like the white woman. Of course, the white man went through great lengths, or white people in general went through great lengths to portray themselves as the standard of beauty and perfection. And of course, and again, this had a profound influence on the black woman. So as time passed, the black woman found herself trying to look like the white woman. Thus, the black woman was ashamed of her kinky hair, and she wanted to have straight hair like white women. So a black woman invented the straightening comb. So black women could have or simulate having straight hair. Black woman saw the white woman wearing makeup to enhance her beauty, the white woman's beauty. So our women started using makeup. And of course, we know if we just search, some history, we can find that, wearing red lipstick and things of that nature really has a salacious value to it, or a meaning to it, which we won't get into now. But nonetheless, so our women, start adopting these different things that the white women were doing, trying to look like white women. If white women were wearing tight clothes, short dresses, or what have you, this is what the black woman did, because she was ashamed of who she was, because we were conditioned that way to be ashamed of being black. And it wasn't until the teachings of the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad came that black women started being proud of who they were and how they looked. And the emphasis was on natural beauty, not an enhanced beauty or artificial beauty. And for a while, especially around the 1960s, it was really catching fire that black women were proud of how they looked naturally, that they were proud of having kinky hair, and that they were proud of their full lips and their wide noses and their brown and, dark complexions. And, it was a great thing to see. And, but now, since the departure of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, we have kind of regressed to the point where not only do our women like to wear wigs or straight hair of other women, because again psychologically they don't like their kinky hair. You got our sisters bleaching their hair blonde and wearing blonde wigs and things of that nature. And I just want to emphasize again that we're trying to look like someone else. And the basic teachings of the Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad is know yourself and be yourself. Love yourself for who you are. And on top of all of that, remember that you are the first woman, the best woman. That you don't have to look like someone that actually came out of you, who is really a pale representation of the original you. Alhamdulillah. Now, the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, as started by along the person of Master Farad Muhammad, they taught classes, special classes on how the black woman should act at home and abroad. And these classes or training units are called still to this day Muslim Girls Training and General Civilization Class, MGT and GCC. And in these classes, in the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, teaches the black woman how to take care of her home, rear children, take care of her husband, sew, cooking in general, how to act at home and abroad. Because there's science to everything. And there's a science to being woman, the black woman, and there's science to how she is supposed to conduct themselves, just as there's a science how the black man is supposed to conduct himself. So again, a central feature of the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad is elevating and protecting the black woman. And for all the sisters out there, those of us who have knowledge of self, we don't like seeing our women, black women, in a negative light. Just like many black women don't like to see the black man in a negative light. So we want to see our women on top and doing good and being the best and having respect for ourselves and exercising modesty. Again, the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad emphasized that the black woman should not try to look like the white woman. So for the black women who are followers of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, those who are holding fast to the teachings, you won't find them straightening their hair, wearing makeup, using bleaching creams, which is really, I don't really think is being practiced too much by American black women, but I noticed that our sisters who have come here, immigrated here from Africa, some of them use bleaching creams because, again, they've been brainwashed. Even though they wasn't on slave plantations here in the wilderness of North America, they've been brainwashed over where they live to not love themselves, not like themselves, and trying to be like white women by using bleaching creams to lighten their skin. And this is, the serious, psychological damage that was done to black people in general, worldwide, apparently. Mother's Day. The white man uses one day for, to celebrate black women, and the rest of the time he degrades black women, or women in general. And I should rephrase that Mother's Day, the white man has one special day to praise women, and the rest of the time he's degrading his woman. And we black men should make sure that we always elevate and protect black women. And you know, living in this society that we're living in could be very difficult because we are surrounded with all types of temptations and, you know, things of this nature where, you know, of course we like to see the feminine form, you know, the woman is beautiful. We are, you know, hardwired that way. We are created in the nature to be attracted to women. And when you see a woman that's, you know, naked or, you know, semi-naked, obviously, you know, for a man, he's going to be attracted to that. But, you know, let us black men exercise restraint, because we have to understand, and we do understand, but many times we choose to ignore. Look, the white man is behind this, and the white man wants to degrade people in general, especially the black man. And he has no problem with degrading his women. And we should definitely be above that, and we should definitely understand that. Alhamdulillah. One other thing I just wanted to mention, because I always thought this was a very important part or piece from the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. And essentially, Mr. Muhammad taught us that the black woman is symbolic to the moon, and that there are certain characteristics of the moon that correspond to the black woman. And one of them is that the moon makes a 28 to 30 day cycle around the sun, around the earth. The moon is our satellite, and it orbits the earth around 28 to 30 days every month. And Mr. Muhammad taught us that this is similar or corresponds to the woman's menstrual cycle every 28 to 30 days. So for those of us that study and are interested in, you know, different science that the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad taught us, that is something worth looking into. And you can find that in the Flag of Islam, I think around page 13. And before I close out, I just want to again emphasize that when Master Farad Muhammad came to the wilderness of North America, when Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad came to the wilderness of North America, he brought these teachings to the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad. And Mr. Muhammad always gave credit, and that this is just the things that he taught, his teachings, came from Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I just want to read something that was in the problem book, and I'm looking at current copies of the problem book, and I don't see this poem in there anymore. But back in the day, this was part of the problem book, and I just want to read this. And this was part of the problem book. If you study the teachings of the Most Honorable Mr. Elijah Muhammad, you know I'm referring to that body of mathematical questions describing the condition of the black man and black woman here in the wilderness of North America. Queen of Queens, I know your mother as Queen of Queens and your father as King of Kings, but now they suffer in this world of sin. Will not the heavens cast light above the darkest galleys in our sight? Will weary bodies sit and lie, and born today we live, tomorrow we die? 'Tis said that once a great black queen on top of the greatest world was seen, besides the original black man as king. Lo, see that naked body stripped of royal garb, and all about this woman has been marred. Enough is seen to turn the pointed blade to self. Lo, think that we have been dashed upon dusty shells, and troops of many nations have trampled by, and upon the soil we live, riddled with the bullets of time. Who shed the bitter tear? Who raised an arm to fight? None but Allah, who restored our sight. Those who believe that this is not right shall bite the dusty carpets of earth, and upon them shall come Allah's curse. I say, black man, I know your mother as Queen of Queens and your father as the King of Kings. Alhamdulillah. So this beautiful poem is basically telling us that, you know, with all the horrible treatment that the black woman has received by the white man. None cared about the black woman but Allah, the person of Master Farah Muhammad, and that was his job, to come find us and teach us who we are, that the black woman is indeed the queen mother of the universe. And I hope all black women who hear this, see this video, will stop and reflect and dig deeper as to who they are and love themselves, know yourself and be yourself. That you are the best, you are the first, you are the best, and you are the most beautiful, from the full lips to the brown skin, to the dark skin, to the kinky hair. You are the best. Praise be to Allah. So with that, I'm going to close out and say Happy Mother's Day, and I'm going to close out in the name of Allah and the person of Master Farah Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who was to come and has come to restore us who were lost from our own, the kingdom of Islam. Peace, peace.